Welcome to the Cashflow Authority Podcast. We're kicking off with an introductory Q&A to answer your biggest questions and set the stage for what we do. Let's get started. Meet your host.
Yes, well, my name's Chris Jansen, the founder of the Flow Authority, and I've been investing in real estate for about 3 years now, since 2023. Really, I started looking back in 2020. That's when I bought my first property. So you could say I've had this 5, 6 year endeavor learning about real estate, trying to get into real estate and investing in real estate. And what I'm looking to do right now is just help other people pave the way for them to have success in real estate.
Who is the Flow Authority and what is their mission?
So I created the Flow Authority to really help people pave the way as they're getting into real estate investing. And the reason I called it the Flow Authority is I'm actually an engineer. I'm an engineer by trade, and I'm a water engineer. So every day at work, we're talking about water and we're talking about the flow rates. What's the flow of the water? And I love this analogy, bringing that back to our lives. What's the flow of your life? And when you look at water, the flow of water creates these landscapes around you. It's created things like the Grand Canyon, these massive monuments and testaments to the power of consistent, persistent flow of water. And so the Flow Authority is really about your flow, the flow of your life, and becoming the authority. And what I mean by authority is really taking ownership and responsibility of your life, where you're at right now and where you're going. So we're all about designing that life, the life that you desire, the life that you really crave, helping you take that seat, that authority seat, and build out that life, the life of your dreams. So instead of taking what you get, this is what one of my coaches tells me all the time: Chris, you can take what you get or you can create what you want. And so we're all about creating what you want. I believe we're put on this earth to create. God put us here to create, not to sit around, not to let other people dictate our lives, not to sit around and watch Netflix or just binge and just have no real purpose or guiding light for us. And so I'm all about helping people figure out, what is your why? Why are you here? Where are you trying to go? And then creating that roadmap to help get you there. So paving the way. And in this case, really, I'm focused on real estate investing is the big thing, but this could be anything. This could expand into any business, life coaching. If you're looking for help with your career, I've got a master's in civil and environmental engineering from Stanford University. It took a lot of things to get there. So if you're looking for help in your career, we can go there as well. But the main focus is really, what is your why? What is your passion? Why are you here? And then we can start working on, okay, where do you want to go? And let's create that path and design that life together.
Why did you start your coaching business?
That's a great question. So I started my coaching business because other people took me under their wing and coached me first. They coached me. So I tried to get into real estate investing on my own back in 2020. I read some books about it. This was during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? I was home alone. I was isolated in my place. I didn't have a dog at the time. Didn't have any kids, no wife, no girlfriend, nothing. It was just me, one bedroom apartment, isolated by myself. And so I was bored, and I was learning and I was reading about all these different investment strategies and looking into the stock market, but ultimately landed on real estate. But I tried to do this on my own for 3 years. I put in over 15 offers. I was working with a realtor, and every offer I submitted, I kept going higher and higher on those offers, but I kept getting outbid by other investors, by cash buyers, by institutional money, by people overseas, international buyers. And it just exhausted me. So I was exhausted and overwhelmed by this. And it wasn't until I found a program that kind of taught me the knowledge and education behind how do you actually invest in real estate. I learned that I didn't know what I didn't know. There's so many things out there that I had no idea about that I could tap into and take advantage of. And then the biggest thing is just having people around me that have already been there, done that, to coach me through the real estate. So the reason I created this company is because I needed that support. And I see this all over the place. I'm very involved. For example, I'm very involved into Grant Cardone's 10X program, but I see a lot of people trying to go into that program and do what he says to do and buy a 32 unit apartment as your first deal. And they're just overwhelmed. And you can do it, but you need that guidance to understand what's the next step. What's the next step? And so that's really my role. I'm trying to help spread the knowledge that I've learned and gained, spread that experience and knowledge with you guys so that we can lock arms together and we can do deals together, and you can actually be confident in what you're executing on and the deals you're pursuing, making sure it's the right place to invest, the right market to invest, the right strategies to invest, the right thing for you to do. Maybe buying an apartment complex isn't the right move for you. Maybe that's not the strategy that you should be doing based on your own identity, personality, characteristics, and traits. And so I help my clients to figure out what is your investor identity, and based on that, what types of strategies should you be using? Where should you be investing and putting your money, and creating a roadmap step by step so that you can go through and do that with confidence and with success, but still having me by your side as well as a team of other people. So we're all doing this together. So that's why I created the Flow Authority.
Why do you invest in real estate?
So I chose to invest in real estate for 5 reasons. Okay. But first, I was in stocks. And that failed very quickly for me. I didn't lose a bunch of money or anything crazy like that, but it was just causing me all of this unnecessary stress because I had certain stocks that I really enjoyed, that I really loved. I fell in love with these companies, these stocks, and I was watching the charts go up and down. But when the charts went up and I was waiting for the right price to buy, I wanted them to come down so I could buy at the right price. Again, this was during COVID, so the prices just kept going up for a lot of these stocks. And so I got this FOMO, right? The fear of missing out, and the price went up. And so I buy up here, but it's every time I bought the stock, then the price would fall. And I'm just staring at this chart with my anxious brain and my analytical brain thinking, oh man, I'm losing all this money. And so I'd sell at a low spot, and then it would start to go up again. So I ended up knowing that I'm supposed to buy low, sell high. Everybody knows that. But ultimately I was doing the opposite of that, because my emotions were getting in the way. So I knew that, okay, this is not going to work for me. I'm a smart guy. I understand stocks. I know what I'm supposed to do, but the emotions get in the way. So I need something that takes the emotions out of it. And so that's what guided me to real estate. First, it was my dad. My dad's a tax preparer. And so he also owned rentals, owned a duplex back in the day. So he understands the benefits from the tax perspective, as well as just using leverage and having tenants pay down your mortgage over time and using that in addition to getting cash flow. So he educated me on those benefits. I read a few books on it and I was sold. It was so easy to sell me on real estate. And it was the answer to my problem, which was I can't just sit and look at a stock chart. And you can't really do that with real estate. You can look at your Z estimate, but that's not ever accurate anyways. So please don't do that. And also, if you just buy and sell, now you got all these realtor commissions and closing costs. It's not going to work that way. So it takes that out of the equation, the emotional part. There's still emotion involved when you're buying. You can still fall in love with a deal and buy the wrong deal because you just fell in love with it and not the numbers. So there's lots of things to learn there and be wary of. But that's how I got into real estate. And then I attended a webinar and they went over what they call the ideal investment strategy and the 5 ideal benefits of real estate. So it's an acronym and it's income. So I is income. That's the cash flow. So you're actually making income, even just on a buy and hold rental property. It may only be a couple $100 a month, but you're getting income every month, supplemental income. Okay. Then you've got depreciation, which is your tax benefits. You're able to deduct a lot of things that you cannot deduct even just as a normal homeowner, certainly not if you're renting, and certainly not in the stock market. So you're getting income, you're getting deductions. Okay. And then you also are building equity. You're building equity over time. You can force the equity if you're doing like a fix and flip, but otherwise, even if you just have, again, a buy and hold, long-term rental, the tenants are paying down your mortgage with their rent, and you're building equity by paying off your mortgage. So you get equity. The A is appreciation. Naturally, we all know this, the value of properties go up over time. And then finally, leverage. And this is huge. And I can paint this picture so many ways, but if you look at leverage, just simply understanding that you can take a loan out to go take a mortgage to go buy a property and put down only 20 or 25%. Let's say you put down 25%. Okay. Now the property appreciates 2%. If you bought this in cash, like you would with the stock, and it goes up 2%, okay, your return is 2%. But if you buy it with only 25% down, your return is actually 4 times that. So it's actually 8% just on appreciation, not even accounting for all those other benefits. So just because you can use a loan, the banks are willing to loan you all this money to buy real estate because it is a lower risk vehicle. So a lot of people will tell me, Chris, isn't this a really risky investment, putting my money in real estate? And certainly there are risks. There are always risks with investments. Any type of investment, there are risks. But the bank's lending you 75% of the purchase, but they're not lending you anything on your stocks unless you build up a margin account or something. They're not lending you 75% to go buy a bunch of Tesla stock, okay? So to me, that tells me something about risk, that the banks view real estate as a long-term low risk play compared to the stock market. So that's why I got into real estate. I love the ideal concept and those 5 benefits. And some people will tell you about idea, they'll leave off the L, but frankly, the leverage is massive. You just don't want to over leverage. Okay, you just don't want to over leverage. You don't want to try to find ways to take out 100% on every deal. That's very risky. Okay, you don't want to do that, but you want to use leverage. It's going to amplify your return. So those are the benefits of what I saw and what really pulled me into this investment.
How can you help people looking to get started?
So I can help people. Right now I have a group coaching program. It's called the Cashflow Accelerator. And this is the first program that I launched, and it's going really well so far. I have 12 weeks of training, so weekly training. Okay, you go in, we have a portal for my clients. You go into the portal. We've got on-demand video trainings that walk you through from start to finish. How do you find the deal, fund the deal? How do you use other people's money? What happens when my offer gets accepted? How do I go from an accepted offer all the way through the close? How do you negotiate the deal? And then once you close, how do you execute on the deal and then exit the deal? A lot of people don't think about exiting the deal. They only think about one strategy and how do I get into the deal? But you have to have exit strategies, multiple exit strategies, and so to protect yourself. So you want to lower your risk. That's a huge way. Probably the biggest way to lower your risk is limit your limit your leverage, and then also having multiple exit strategies. So I'll help you understand the whole process from start to finish. We're going to go into mindset, because if the 6 inches between your ears isn't right, then you're going to get into this and you're going to get overwhelmed and you're going to quit and you're going to give up. And we don't want you to do that. Okay, so we're going to get your mindset right. You're going to come into this with a winning mindset, and you're going to go through the program successfully. And then on the other side, we're going to help you figure out, what is your investor identity? How do you fit into this world of real estate investing? What strategies should you be using? And we'll curate that customized roadmap specific to you. So I do this with all my clients. I show you exactly how to do this. You're going to come out of this with a 90-day action plan. So ultimately, you get 12 weeks of structure of on-demand courses, followed by 12 weeks of now you're implementing your action plan, and we're still meeting weekly so that I can guide you through the process, because that's where the real learning starts, is when you start to actually implement those strategies. And I'll be there every step of the way with you. And because it's group coaching, you'll have other people as well to help you along the way, learning this together with others. Now, if group coaching isn't your thing, absolutely, I have one-on-one coaching opportunities as well. It just depends on your learning style and what works best for you. So I have both of those opportunities available for anybody looking to learn and get started in real estate. But look, everybody tells me, Chris, I don't have money to invest, or there's certain challenges people tell me, right? Most people I ask, hey, have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Most people I ask tell me yes. Majority, more than half the people I ask, even people I'd assume there's no way this person would have even thought about this. This is not them. Oh yeah, I've thought about real estate. Absolutely. Because everybody knows it's a great investment. But most people that have thought about it haven't actually done anything with it. They haven't taken the steps because either they don't have the money, they're overwhelmed, they don't understand the process. Like I was overwhelmed. or they just don't understand what strategy is the right strategy for me. Where do I get started? Where should I invest? Those more personalized questions. And so that's why I walk you through, hey, how do you use other people's money so that you don't need to use your own money right away? Let's get you making some income first and then go get some more properties, followed by just going over the entire process, start to finish, not to overwhelm you even more, but to give you clarity on the process, and so that you leave this with that confidence. And that's a big step. That's going to give you the confidence, understanding the process, learning just the step by step what goes into this. That's huge for your confidence. You're going to see that in how you carry yourself and how you're looking at deals as well.
What is your goal with real estate?
So my goal with real estate, it keeps changing, and it never goes down. It always goes up. I did a podcast previously where I said, hey, my goal is to own 2,000 rental units. Okay. Right now, my goal is to I changed the verbiage. So it's not to own, it's actually to provide safe and affordable housing for at least 5,000 families. So to provide safe and affordable housing for at least 5,000 families. And the reason that I increased my goal is because I'm actually starting a partnership, a venture with two other individuals in Texas, and we're going to be developing land. So we're going to be building from the ground up apartments. So I'm still going to be building my portfolio, buying cash flowing multifamily properties over here. But then over here, I'm going to be actually building from the ground up apartment complexes as well. So now I've got two different angles coming at this and have more control. And so we have our goals with that company, but in total, I upped the ante because I can do 2,000 on my own, but now I've got two other partners, and this is the beauty of leverage and working with other people. Okay, it's huge because you can help you scale your portfolio a lot faster, and so that's the goal. The goal is provide safe and affordable housing to at least 5,000 families.
How can people find you?
People can find me. Oh, I'm everywhere. No, I'm just kidding. But people can find me on social media. I'm on all the platforms. Okay, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Pick your poison. I'm on it. YouTube. You can also find me through my website, theflowauthority.com. I have all my social links on there. You can message me. You can reach out and ask questions. On the website, I've got a newsletter. You can follow the newsletter and get up-to-date information on what I'm doing with my portfolio, but I also include a lot of educational components in there as well. It's just free. It's free information, free education, keeping you informed. So that's a free newsletter you can sign up for. And also on the website, I have a blog. And so with each of my podcasts, we're doing a blog. I will occasionally put out my own blog as well, aside from the podcast content. I'm out there. Pick your favorite way to get in touch, but definitely follow me on my socials. And I'm an open book, an open door policy, so reach out anytime. I'm a coach. I'm here to help. I'm here to help guide you and figure out what's the right next step for you on your journey. And just reach out and I'll help you figure that out. We can figure that out together. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Cashflow Authority Podcast. We hope the insights shared today help you take the next step toward optimizing your finances and building sustainable wealth. If you enjoyed this conversation, please take a moment to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. It helps other entrepreneurs and investors discover the show. And don't forget to catch the next episode for more insights. Until then, keep mastering your cash flow.